Morning. Good morning. Good morning. The noise level is dropping. We're going to start real promptly because we have a very full agenda and then a program immediately after this one. So, first up, moment of silence. And as always, the next thing is introduction of a new resident. We have one this month. Julie Hollingsworth spent most of her life in Roanoke, has lived in Lexington recently. There she is standing in the back waving. Welcome to Kendall, Julie. And administration update, Felicia is away. Madison's going to do that for her today. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, so Felicia, as mentioned, she is out of town on a CEO retreat in Baltimore. She will be back this weekend. She is manager on duty, so I'm sure you will see her Saturday and Sunday. So with that, just a few quick bullet points that she sent my way. First and foremost, we have, as all of you should be aware, filled our director of marketing position. So as of this week, Miss Sarah Dudley has been promoted to that role. So please congratulate her when you see her. Okay, next up, Katie Webb is going away as of April 1st. So as we know, Kendall Connect, there have been many trainings throughout the past week or so that have been going well from what I hear. But if you have any questions or you have not been able to make it to a training, please see Becky Edmondson. Okay. And then all of the work on Sunrise Ridge to repair the fiber lines that were cut all the way back in August has completed. The fitness center exercise room has been painted and the floor is in the process of being replaced. So that should be completed within the next week or two. So if you go down to the fitness center, you may see that some of the equipment has been moved, but that will be replaced within the next week or so. The facilities department now has a new 2022 Chevrolet Express cargo van equipped with all the racks and shelves and roof racks that they need to help haul things around campus. That is going to save tremendous time for our staff running back and forth to the maintenance shed. And then finally, the 25th anniversary celebrations will continue with the next event on May 8th. There will be an ice cream social for residents and staff. So mark your calendars. And that's everything from Felicia. Thank you. Oh. Okay, thanks.
Good morning. Oh, sorry. Too many things to juggle here. I think most of you know I'm Pam Lucky and I'm the board chair. And I'm pleased to give you another update on the search for our new CEO. So the search committee and the TKC staff have been working overtime this month to distill a large and impressive field of candidates to the ones we believe will be the best ones suited to become our next CEO. We've already conducted Zoom meetings with a number of them, and we hope to reach a decision about finalists by the end of this month. If all goes well, we will have candidates on campus in mid-April, just as the trees are beginning to leaf and the grass begins to turn green. We will be at our most beautiful time of year. So I can't give specific dates yet, but when we do have details, we will let everyone know, and there will be opportunities to interact with the candidates and to give your feedback to the search committee. So I encourage you to take advantage of these opportunities. While the decision is ultimately the board's, we care deeply about what the residents think and what the staff think. So remember that while the candidates are on campus, I've said this before, not only are we evaluating them, but they are evaluating us. So please give them a warm Kendall welcome and help them find their way around if they look lost. Our marketing department often says that the residents are the best sales representatives for prospective residents, and I am certain that will also be the case for our next CEO. Also, please remember that the hiring landscape has changed considerably since many of us were in the workforce. So to ensure that we stay aligned with best practices, Madison will be distributing reminders on what is appropriate and what is not appropriate to ask candidates. We ask that you keep these guidelines in mind during both formal and informal interactions with the candidates. So each finalist will visit the Kendall campus for one full day, and each will participate in a town hall Q&A in this room for residents. There will be a comparable sort of gathering for staff members. The residents who are members of the search committee will select the questions to be asked by a moderator so that each candidate will be asked the same questions. And just as a reminder, those members are Bill Craig, Dennis Cropper, and Karen Russell. And I'm going to turn the microphone over to Bill to explain how you can submit questions to be considered and how we will be soliciting your feedback. So.
Thanks, Pam. Excellent. In order to provide consistency of questions and provide a consistent opportunity for each candidate who visits to get a fair and equal evaluation, we will be soliciting your questions. If you have a question you would like us to ask the candidates during their visit, please email it to either me or Dennis or Karen or all three of us. If you're not an email user, you can feel free to put a handwritten note in our box and we will consolidate all of those. We will, I suspect that there will be a significant number that will be similar. We will consolidate similar numbers to try and get down to a manageable group of questions that we can provide to the candidates. And then we will provide those questions to the moderator who will ask them at the various sessions. Please get them to us by the 4th of April so that we can put them together and have them ready and available when the candidates are on site. And then after the town halls, we would like your comments on the candidates as you observe them during their visit. We will provide a document like this at the back of Kendall Hall, or make it available so that you can provide your comments on or responses to these questions and comments. We will fill in the candidate name so that we can make sure that we only put the right response to the right candidate. Any questions about that? Ted?
For the questions that you're going to ask on behalf of us residents, will those be given to the candidates before, or is it going to be extensive?
They will not be given beforehand.
We have to name the candidates ahead of time in case we want to do a little research on our own.
let Pam answer that question.
I think you will, not a lot of time in advance. And remember, there's a sensitivity when people are applying for a new job. I believe everybody we're considering already has a job, and so not all of them have informed their employers that they are being considered for another job. So obviously, when they come to a campus like this for an interview, the cat's kind of out of the bag, but we would still encourage you to be somewhat discreet about it. But we will certainly share their information and a brief bio.
And that wasn't my intention. I just thought, we might want to research their work history ahead of time or something,
Right.
Not contact anybody.
No, I absolutely. Yeah, I think the Google searches will be, active here, even in this month. It's funny, I've noticed, you can tell on LinkedIn that people are searching your name. And so more people than normal are searching my name. So this goes both ways. So yeah, we will make sure you have the basics of who they are and what they've done.
Other questions? Okay, thanks very much.
Good morning. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. So I am in my new role now, and I have also moved offices. So if you need me, I am just down the hall here in the 200s, and I'll be happy for you to stop by. Bring a dog. I love that. We will be hiring someone new for marketing, so bear with us while we're in that process. And then I've also been tasked to talk a little bit about Kindle Connect. And first off, I want to thank Sheridan. She has run our programs for both iPhone and Android users, and she's done an excellent job. So if you all have any questions, we are both a resource for that, along with Becky. You want to share anything with that?
So we did have a few trainings last week.
Let me get in front of the camera.
Okay. We had some trainings just to kind of show you guys what Kendall Connect is and how that works. We are planning on holding a few more sessions to deep dive into it, where you guys bring your own devices and we can be more hands-on. We haven't set any dates for that yet, but that will be posted on Kendall Connect and we'll send it out via email. So we just encourage you guys to get on it and start using it, and we'll be able to answer any questions you guys have.
All right, and we'll turn it over to Kevin for the marketing report.
Good morning. So since the last Residents Association meeting 1 month ago, we've had 13 tours, tryouts, and meetings with prospective future residents, folks who have visited from as far away as Keller, Texas, Durham, North Carolina, Cambridge, Maryland. Cambridge is in the house this morning, by the way. Couple who are visiting. Haymarket, Virginia, Vienna, Virginia, Washington, Virginia, Standardsville, Virginia, 3 different ones from Lexington, Virginia, and 1 couple from Buena Vista. The one in Virginia, not. We signed 1 new reservation since a month ago with a local woman who currently going through our approval process, who is reserved apartment 205. We're currently working on selling apartment 125, which is a 1-bedroom apartment on the 1st floor of the north building, and cottage 1003, a 2-bedroom plus den cluster cottage. So we've just started working our way down the ready list for those. Neither one of those are technically vacant yet. They're still in their 30-day vacate period, but in marketing, we like to start as soon as we can and start working our way down the list to see who will be the next resident for those open independent living homes. We signed 5 new waitlist members during this past month, 4 couples and 1 single, and they are from Ashland, Oregon, Washington, Virginia, 2 from Lexington, Virginia, and that couple from Buena Vista. So that brings us to 11 new waitlist members so far in 2025. And that brings us to a grand total of 222 couples and singles on the wait list, 67 of whom are ready now. That's it for marketing. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So I just have news or things that are coming. We don't have anything new starting immediately, but I wanted to let you know a couple of the things we're working on. So we're working on creating our monotony breaker calendar. So if you joined us on Monday for lunch and dinner, we had our St. Patty's Day menu. So our goal is to do 2 something specials every month. They won't always be a full meal. I'm looking at ice cream sundaes for the end of the month. I've heard a lot of people asking, why can't we have hot veg? Why can we do those things? So we're working on that one. We haven't set a date yet, but it's on our list for our manager meeting to talk about. The other things that I'm working on right now are the restaurant and groceries. So for the restaurant, Sean almost has a new menu complete. We're meeting with the furnishing committee on Thursday to talk about updating the restaurant a smidge. Now, I heard someone say to me, you're making renovations. We're not making renovations. So let's not get too excited. We're talking about a couple tweaks. So looking at changing possibly part of the paint, not the whole room, but the little indents in the wall, the pinkish tannish color, I'm not even sure what it's called, makes the room pretty dark. The light bulbs that we have in there are those rose-colored light bulbs, which makes it hard to see. So now we've got pinkish walls and pinkish lights. And so we're working on creating some lights that are more of a sunlight that we can dim, and looking at some paint colors just to keep it classic, but update it a little bit. And that would coincide with Sean's new menu that he's creating. So we are looking at, depending on what happens tomorrow at our furnishing committee meeting, we're looking at closing the restaurant for the first 2 weeks in April. I know. But for 2 reasons. One, we want to give facilities time to get the bulbs in that we need, to make those changes, and to do any work with painting that we might do. The other thing is I am away the 2nd week in April, and I don't want it starting before I'm back. I say that because if there's challenges, I want you to come to me. I want to be the one to help walk through those things if we've got some challenges. With the grocery orders, we're looking at, Kendall Connect is coming. We're looking at creating an opportunity to be able to place the grocery orders online, which would help us tremendously, because right now Kelsey manually enters those, and those of you who grow groceries know that those points don't get covered or put on your accounts until the end of the month when she spends 3 days entering those numbers. So this would allow us to be able to order them online. They would hit your account when your order gets placed. You would pick up the next week. Eventually, I say eventually, in like 2 months, you'll be able to place whatever Friday order you want to come pick up the following Friday. We're going to set limits that we can take 20 orders every Friday. So you won't be beholden to, if you live in a certain place, you have to order on a certain day. So for those of you that want to wait a little bit on your points or see what things look like, you'll have that opportunity to do that. So we are going to be testing that soon. Of course, if you don't use Kendall Connect, no worries. We'll still take a paper order, but we're working on creating a new form, what that looks like. We'll be testing that with some of you. I haven't reached out yet. So, if you're one of those that orders groceries pretty frequently, I will be reaching out to see if we can learn that new process. And I think that's all. We're just working through the new menu. We're on week 3 of 4. So we'll keep making the tweaks. You guys are communicating wonderfully, and we will keep adjusting as needed. Does anyone have any questions? Wonderful. You know where to find me, and I will see you at meals. So thank you.
Hi, good morning. Just got about 10 or so things to give you quick updates on. Chesapeake Bay Foundation planting phase 2 was wrapped up over the weekend. Depending where you are on the property, you may have seen that. It's about 1.7 acres of additional trees that were planted. Those were zones that were cut out of the original project some years back. So they've been added back in now. They will maintain those zones for the next 3 years. At the end of that, it reverts to us, but it's a no mow, no brush hog, no cut area that they want to turn into forest, like the areas that turn over to us next month. So some progress on that. The Sunnyside House HVAC project is designed, signed, and contracted at this point. That work is scheduled to begin on April 25th and will take, they think, about 6 weeks. I have not had the detailed timing meeting with them yet, but it will take some of those rooms offline while they're in there actually installing HVAC chases and new equipment. So I will work with Karen and make sure that we block out appropriate rooms, not all at once, as we go through that work on that. Again, anticipated to take about 6 weeks, and by the time that's done, each zone will have its own hardware, and you'll be able to heat or cool those rooms as you want, not be stuck with a neighbor who wants something other than you and you have to wear a parka. The Sunnyside roof design is complete and contracted, and as of about an hour ago, we sent the deposit for that as well. So that is moving. It will visually look like, show it to the people on the camera, what is up there now. So it's a standing seam metal roof. A lot of the roofs that went up there probably were bright red when they went on, and they fade over time to kind of that brick color that's there now. The current stuff, the way it's powder coated and done, the color you get is the color that stays for a long, long time. So the fire engine bright red, we're like, not sure we want to go that. So we kind of farm that out for some feedback. Visually, when the project is done, it will look virtually identical to what's up there now. So the paint color, the roof, all of it will look the same. It just hopefully won't leak. Sycamore Capital Phase 3 capital roofing project is signed and contracted as of yesterday as well. We do not have the funds to do all the houses on Sycamore at once, so we're breaking that into zones. We started at one spot and we went down the street until we ran out of capital funds. So the west side is where we're going to start, up at 4. And the price quote for each house, we ran out of money at 106. So the west side from 4 to 106, we'll be getting new roofing and decking and everything else that's needed. That work is not scheduled yet, but it's the same contractor doing the Sunnyside roof. We did the deposit, so we'll have materials here soon. That is going to be the 50-year architectural shingles, same as you see on Cottage 1036. So if you look at the work that was done on 1036, it's the same on there. The student project from Washington Lee on the signage continues. They sent out a survey with some mixed results. They were here traipsing around yesterday. They have some tentative designs they'll be briefing soon as that project wraps up and they finish their semester. If you've been in the courtyard, you've probably noticed Welsh Construction doing a sunroom project on the 3rd floor there. That's going okay. We're working with the roofers to make sure what they build ties in nicely and doesn't void our warranty and does the exact same materials. I'm actually trying to get them to sub the same company to put the new roofing on the little addition that's going on out there as well. When they have their cones and their caution tape out there, please stay out of that area and don't go traipsing around under their lift. Fitness shower is completed. That's from 2.5 years ago. That's finally done. So if you've been down the fitness center, you'll see the one shower that was offline has all been retiled and corrected, and that one is functional. The fitness flooring was mentioned in Felicia's update earlier. They will be back midweek for the final steps of that project as well. The material that's going down has a 72-hour minimum curing time. So you see them do lots of work and then they're gone, and then they come back and they do work and then they're gone. So it's not that we're not paying them or they forget or something like that. There's a pretty lengthy do not walk on the flooring period that we have to wait as we do the different zones. So that's moving along. Hopefully by the end of next week, it will all be cleaned and sealed and done and ready to go. We're still working with the SCC and Columbia Gas on our gas issue. Columbia Gas still says we're burning a whole lot more gas than we think we're burning, than I think we're physically capable of burning with the equipment we have here. No resolution on that. I have an update to the state due 15th of next month. The fire alarm system is contracted as well, that massive project. We don't have the timeline handover meeting executed yet, but that will be starting, and we'll be doing that by zones. So there'll be a zone that gets new hardware, new monitoring, and then we move on. There will not be a gap between our existing monitoring and life safety and then the new stuff. It will overlap step by step. That's why that meeting with them is going to be a challenging meeting, but we'll get it sorted out. And the last thing on my list, after over 2 years and us finally threatening legal action, the elevator companies say they will be here on March 27th, and they think it'll take 4 days, and they'll knock out the elevator that we gave them money for back in 2023. So hopefully soon. All right, that's my list. Did I miss anything y'all have questions about, or any rocks need to get thrown? Yes.
March 27 this year?
No, they didn't actually specify in the phone call. But he said a Thursday, and it matches with a Thursday for this year. So yes, I think this year. Anything else for me? Okay, thanks, y'all.
Hello, everybody. I have 3 announcements this morning. I'm pleased to introduce the board and receptionist position to better support residents, staff, and visitors. Ashley Hamilton is now in place, covering Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. till 6:30 p.m. until our second receptionist is hired. We hope to have this finalized this week. And once on board, the position will provide reception coverage 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So please say hello to Ashley in the interim. And we are also seeing enhancements in our medical services. Premier Geriatric Solutions has merged with Aventis Whole Health, bringing additional resources and support to our community. Dr. Baracco has been promoted to Chief Medical Officer, but will continue as Borden's Medical Director, attending quarterly quality assurance and performance improvement, our QAPI meetings, and overseeing the medical team. The Borden medical rounding schedule is as follows. Dr. Ali, our new rounding physician, on Wednesdays. Rachel Wilson, nurse practitioner, rounds Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And then Jennifer Pierce, the psychiatric nurse practitioner, rounds on Fridays. Third announcement is that Friends Service Alliance, FSA, completed a mock survey in Borden, March 4th through 6th. The auditors provided recommendations, and I wanted to share the areas that we will include a plan of correction. So this includes reviewing bed safety measures and ongoing reassessments when changes occur, educating staff and on updated processes and ensuring compliance with call bell accessibility, medical record audits to ensure complete psychosocial and trauma assessments, reinforcing adherence to facility policies such as wandering and weight loss, and strengthening infection control practices with targeted staff education and compliance checks. So this was a thorough inspection, and we were proud with these results, and we'll complete the plan of correction and continue to seek quality improvement. These updates reflect our continued commitment to provide safe, supportive, and high-quality environment for all our residents. Thank you for your time and trust, and as always, I welcome any questions or concerns. Yes, ma'am.
What is rounding?
Rounding. So the question is, what is rounding? So rounding means that they'll be available and they will go to their scheduled residents, either based off of admission, their monthly checks, or any resident that has acute needs at that time. Yes, so the question is, where was the Borden receptionist located? So as you go into the Borden entrance, she hopefully will greet you upon entrance. However, the specific location of the desk is to the left, right in front of the sunroom. So there's a hydration station, so you can come and get some coffee, you can chat with her. And the ultimate goal is to create a warm, welcoming environment as you enter Borden. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. Well, the Culture and Entertainment Committee, we have a couple of events this month. On Saturday, we're going up to Stanton. For those who don't know, Stanton is the same thing as Staunton, if you haven't been here that long enough. But this is called Bach Around the Clock. That means they're gonna be playing Bach works from 9 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock at night. Now, we're not gonna be there for all 12 hours, so we're gonna take a bus at 12:30. We'll be there for 3 of their concerts from 1:30, 2:30, and 3:30, and we'll be back at 4 o'clock. Now, there's plenty of spaces on the bus if you want to go up there and listen to Bach for 3 hours. Please sign up on the list. Anytime we have a sign up for the bus, we need at least 7 people to sign up in order to have the bus. If we don't get 7 people, we cancel the bus. We don't cancel the event, but the bus is canceled. So it's important that we get enough people to sign up so that we can continue on these events as we go through. And then on Tuesday, we have part 2 of the James Footbridge visit. We had a talk last week about the bridge over the James River, and now we're going to have hiking. We have we have a bus that goes up for the people who want to just go up to look at the bridge and walk across the bridge and maybe put their toe in the water of the James River, and they'll walk about a couple of feet up the Appalachian Trail to get a badge. I walk the Appalachian Trail. We have more than 12 people signed up for that, so there's no more room for you unless you want to go on their own. However, we also have the second part, those people who want to do the hiking. I think they're going to hike about 10, 15 miles on the bridge there. They'll be gone for 2 or 3 days. So you got to make sure if you sign up for that, you got to bring your flashlight, your sleeping bag, and a tent, and you better bring a little food for you because you're going to get hungry. So they're gonna carpool up, and we have some open spaces for that. In fact, we can have as many people as we want to go up on that hike. And they'll leave at 9 o'clock in the morning, the same time as the bus. And they'll go up to the bridge, and then they'll cross over the bridge, and they'll continue the hiking. Actually, Victoria is going to lead, although she's only going to go 4 miles, and then she's coming back the 4 miles. So actually, it's only a 4-mile hike. It's very easy. You'll be walking on the side of a cliff, so bring a walking stick. We want to make sure we have the same number of people to come back. But so that's an opportunity. We still have opportunity to sign up for that. So it's supposed to be an easy walk, an easy trail walk, and you get a golden badge that you walk the Appalachian Trail if you complete that 4-mile walk. And then on Sunday, the 30th, our resident Judy Harrison is going to be here in Kendall Hall at 3 o'clock playing the piano. She's an accomplished pianist, and she'll be playing in memory of her recent partner who died a year ago. So please show up for that. And then in April, now, of course, April, we have 11 different events in April, and I'm not going to go through all of them. I'll just go through the 8 or 9 of them. But we have Sue Pipo, another resident, going to talk about her birding experience in Costa Rica here in Kendall Hall. That's on the 2nd of April. And then there's about 4 or 5 different events at Washington Lee University. This is sort of winding up all the cultural events in early April because, they all leave for their summer vacations shortly after that. So there's a whole week of events. If you want to be interested in that, please sign up for one of the buses. And then on the 9th, we have John Lanier, who is going to lead us on a walk in the back campus of Washington University to see all the flowers. Hopefully there will be a few flowers, wildflowers in the back campus. There's a lot of woods in the back campus of Washington Lee. We did that a couple of years ago, and so hopefully we'll have good weather and it would be a nice walk, a leisurely walk through looking at all the wildflowers.
We also had I was contacted by the Southern Virginia University, some professors who want to come over here and give a concert, a piano concert. It's a trio that'll come here. And so we invited them to come here to Kendall Hall to give us a Sunday afternoon concert. We will be eating at the Nico's Grill this coming April. And as we continue to have at least one restaurant outing every month. And the rest of it is on the April schedule. I keep posting it with an as update, so you know whether it's current or not. I hope it is current. So please refer to that. And then, of course, Connections, when it comes out, it'll have everything that was current at the time I submitted the information. But things change on a daily basis. So the most current thing is the actual April calendar here. So anyway, we hope you join us in these different events that we have. We want new people to sign up on the bus because to become involved here in Kendall. And obviously, once again, if you know of an activity or event that's going on here in the community, please let me know so that we can consider would that be one of the events that maybe Kendall would be interested in scheduling. Any questions? Oh, questions. Oh, yes, ma'am. Well, just erase your name. There's a big eraser there. Erase your name and put it on the other list. Okay, there's a spot on the bus. You don't have to, all you can do is you're going to go up there. You're going to stay about an hour and a half, walk across the bridge, walk up on the trail for 10, 15 feet, come back, and you'll be back for lunch. So it's a real easy trip for you there. Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes. Yeah, I try to give Jacqueline a copy of our calendar, but as I update it every day, I don't see her every day, but I give her a copy of the calendar so she can spread the word among Borden and Webster people. Do you never hear anything about it? Well, we'll try to help out on that. I'll talk to Jacqueline, see if we can disseminate the information more. So we do want Webster people and the Borden folks to come over here, especially when we have an event here in Kendall Hall. And if you can take the bus, obviously you can go on anything that we have available. So anything else? Well, thank you very much, and keep all the information coming to me. And thank you for those who did provide me some ideas and information about future events here at Kendall. Am I next? Ah, Diane. Oh, pardon. Diane, take your seat. Pardon.
Good morning, everyone. My time has been shortened for reasons that Lee explained at the beginning. So I've cut out all of the Paul Cormier-like humor from what I have to say. This afternoon, Art Goldsmith will conclude his series on the Fourth Industrial Revolution. And beginning 3 weeks from today, on April 9, we will begin a new program on artificial intelligence and the law called The Curve: How Fast Tech Changes the Law. This series will be presented by Josh Fairfield, a law professor at W&L Law. The April edition of Connections will have an article on Fairfield's program. Now I've got something else to discuss. After I'd given my Kendall College report at the end of our last meeting in February, I was stopped by my dear friend, Beth Knapp, who had a question. This is a two-college town, she said. Why don't we have more VMI professors lecturing at Kendall College? It's a good question. I gave her a short answer, but I think it's a question to which all residents should have an answer. The basic reason, I believe, is that we don't know them. I believe more Kendall at Lexington residents know more W&L professors than VMI professors. It's a belief I cannot prove, but here are some of the factors on which I base it. Yes, this is a two-college town, but the two colleges are very different. VMI is a military school with one dean of the faculty. W&L is largely a liberal arts college. It has 3 deans, arts and sciences, law, and commerce, plus 1 provost. W&L has more students and thus more faculty. VMI's student body is more than 85% male. W&L students are pretty evenly divided between men and women. W&L has almost twice as many full-time faculty as does VMI. W&L's much larger share of women students results in a greater need for faculty who teach liberal arts classes, particularly subjects such as English, sociology, religion, psychology, art, and music. One big reason for being able to find W&L faculty is that W&L allows its faculty to be found. VMI does not. Several Calix students have audited classes at W&L. To my knowledge, no one has audited a VMI class. My auditing gives W&L a huge advantage. I wrote about auditing in the August issue of Connections last year. I know almost no VMI professors, but as most of you know, my connection with W&L is long and strong. I've audited more than 150 classes at W&L over the past 25 years. That auditing has enabled me to know 60 W&L professors as professors teaching classes. Some of them have died and others have moved on, but many are still here. And I've arranged for 19 of them to present a Kendall College program. We have no connection, anything like that, with VMI. 2 members of our Kendall College committee have or had connections with VMI, but neither knows any current VMI faculty. And to the best of my knowledge, no Kendall resident has ever suggested that we invite a particular VMI professor to present a Kendall College program. On the other hand, some residents have suggested W&L professors. Most recent example is law professor Josh Fairfield, who will be here next month. He was recommended by recent resident and former law professor Sally Wyand. We are always interested in finding good presenters, and we've found some from other colleges, including VMI. We've had programs presented by VMI's Casey Brower and by Keith Gibson, the museum director. How do we find current VMI professors? We contact Bob Mareschi, VMI's Dean of the Faculty, and ask him to recommend VMI professors willing to present a Kendall College program. 4 years ago, he sent us a list of several. Some, because of the subject proposed, we thought would not be well received by Kendall residents. Others were not interested in a 3-lecture series, and one could not find time on his schedule to appear. But one agreed to present a program, and she talked on American Indian reservations in 2022. I contacted Bob Mareschi again last year, and asked for VMI recommendations. When he responded, he was able to name just 2 VMI professors. We contacted both of them, and both are on our schedule to present Kendall College programs in August and September of this year. Another factor that helps form my belief is the quality of W&L professors that we are able to attract. If anyone can suggest a concert quality pianist at VMI who can attract and satisfy as many Kendall residents as Tim Gaylord does, we will book him or her quickly. The same goes for presidential politics, as Bob Strong offers us, or Middle East politics, as we have heard from Seth Canty, and there are others. Our Kendall College charge, I believe, is to present interesting, educational, and enjoyable programs, regardless of where the presenter comes from. We would really appreciate recommendations from anyone here at Kendall. So if you know professors at VMI in whom we would be interested, please tell us. Any questions? Beth has another question. You asked it, I've answered it, and now everyone knows. Ted? What?
Athens and Sparta. Athens is more fun, so that's probably why you got more
Assume that Kendall College would not require the speaker to be at one of the universities. There might be somebody.
We've had them from elsewhere.
But we have to still know about it, right?
We have to find them wherever they are. Yes. I mean, Southern Virginia is not in Lexington, but it's 6 miles away.
There might be something from, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, if we knew about it.
Well, last year at the beginning of last year, we had 2 women, one from James Madison and one from Mary Baldwin. Both were arranged by Catherine Brown, who's on our Kendall College committee.
Hope that all of our clients to other places to look.
Exactly. Thank you. Yes, Susan. I just mentioned Southern Virginia. Yes. Who?
Arts, music, and theater.
Yes.
We have a couple more people on the agenda.
I'm sorry, I hear a voice, but I don't see a hand or a question.
No, it's saying we've got a couple more people on the agenda, so I think we need to move on to the next one.
I see no more questions anyway. Thank you.
Thank you.
As you can see, Harry Warner Jr. and I are up here to talk about philanthropy. And this being our 25th anniversary this year, and I've been on that committee, we've been thinking more about how we even began. So we have a 25th anniversary. So I go back to the 30th, back about 30 years, when we first got together as this aspiring group of people and wanting to have a retirement community here, or the type of community that we have here in Lexington. And we had been talking to the Kendall Corporation about maybe thinking about coming here, and they said, yeah, but you're so small. And do you really have enough people in the area to build the model that needs to go into a retirement community? Your population is small. So they said, well, you're going to need about $2 million in equity if we consider coming there. And we thought, wow, that's a lot of money. And I looked up last night, and that $2 million in 30 years ago is now about $4.25 million. And if we thought about trying to raise that in our area here now, we'd go, wow, that's a lot of money. So philanthropy is the part that got us going. We needed the money to get to $2 million so that we could start. And it was really important. And through the wonderful talents of Ferris Hotchkiss and the committee, the amazing board committee, we did raise about $1 million. At the same time, we were looking for where we might be able to build such a community if we were wanting to go ahead. And the community was very supportive of doing that. So we kept taking the steps. So we looked at different places and we talked to the Bartensteins. And one day we were sitting over in Isabel's cottage and we were going to ask if we could buy some land here. And they said they would give it to us. And as I'm sure you've heard me say, I lifted out of the chair because I thought, yeah, we're going to be able to see this happen. So it was the people that had faith in us that when we began, we would be able to do this, but it took money and the generosity of so many people. So to have a not-for-profit organization, nonprofit, which all of us know is probably a better way for us to go, we need to keep on thinking about sustaining the organization in the future. And that's the responsibility of the Kendall board. So we have to think about how we are as a philanthropy committee that can reach out to our community and the broader community to keep and sustain our organization. The philanthropy committee went into slumber during COVID, but now, 5 years later, the board feels that it's important that we pick up the rein and continue with philanthropy. A lot of that's just going to be education. So we understand the various funds that the board has, and you'll be hearing more from us as we go forward. But I think it's part of our responsibility to consider that. Harry Warner Jr. has very kindly agreed to head up the committee, and it's a privilege for me to serve as a resident member of the board. I think it's wonderful that the Kendalls have board members, resident board members, so that the others on the board have an idea of what it is like. They get a firsthand view of what it's like to live here and to be a resident and to hear our concerns. But I also appreciate that we have the talents of people like Harry, who is on our board. So he's going to talk about himself so that you get to know Harry as a board member.
Thank you, Diane. I really don't have much more to say, I don't think. No, it's a pleasure to be here. As you all may know, my parents have been residents here at Kendall for September will be 7 years. And then I have been on the board. May will be a year for me. And then I quickly have gotten involved because of my profession, have been in the nonprofit sector in different capacities for about 30 years. And so I happily agreed when Pam asked me to be chair of the new reconstituted philanthropic committee or philanthropy committee to do that. In addition to Diane, there's Lynn Butcher and Lou Dooley, residents as part of the committee. And then ex officio are Pam and Felicia, and Stephanie is staffing it for us. And so we just had our first meeting in January. We've been getting organized. We do have some plans. You'll be hearing more from us. And of course, my motivation is not only with my parents being here and to see the success of Kendall at Lexington here internally. I think that what was reported with 222 people on the waiting list is a testimonial in itself about the success of Kendall. But I also look at it as part of the fabric of Lexington and Rockbridge County too. And so as we go out into the community, we're part of the community. We need to continue to be part of that and improve the fabric of Lexington and Rockbridge. And I think philanthropy is a great way to do that as well too. So I look forward to meeting more of you all over time, and certainly the committee can take any of your questions or comments at any time. Do you have anything more? Thank you all. Okay.
We've got one person on the agenda. We have Lacey Moore from Cornerstone Bank, and I think she may have some people with her. Talking about games, we need to pay attention.
Okay, so I just talk into it. That's how it goes. Can you guys hear me? No. What about now? What about now?
Yeah.
Oh. Close, real close. What about now? Should have had a class on that before I came. Okay, so I am Lacey. I am from Cornerstone Bank. We are here every Wednesday except for the Wednesdays that these meetings occur. And my purpose in being here is to kind of spread an awareness about a scam that we've seen pretty frequently in the past 2 weeks. Before I get on that though, I'm gonna let the sheriff introduce himself and give the words they'd like to share.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for your time, Sheriff McFadden, your sheriff for Rockbridge County and City of Langston. I brought my chief deputy, Donald Sly, with me, and Lieutenant Young. We're gonna hang around after this event. In case you all have any questions, you want to kind of come up and talk to us. On the side, how many people in here think they've received a scam call, a scam text, a scam email? Exactly. So it's a pretty bad problem that we deal with daily. And they're very good at what they do. They want to isolate you. They want to separate you from your friends so you can't get advice. And then they want you to send them the money. So just use good common sense. Hang up on them, call us, because we probably heard about it. We'll come over here and talk to you about it. We'll call them back with you if we want to. But we'll hang around and answer all your questions. The best advice I can give you is vote for me this November.
Thank you so much. Oh, man. Okay. So I printed off this little, and Karen has extra of these that I brought. It's from the VMI website though, but it lists important numbers and it lists, what to be aware of, what to look for, how to handle it if it happens to you. What we have encountered in the past 2 weeks has been people have received these calls saying that there is a breach in the bank and that you have to come withdraw your money at this exact moment. And then you have to put it into crypto to save the day. And that just doesn't work like that. That is not how that will look if that were to ever in a million years happen. And I've also talked to some other institutions, and it's not just unique to Cornerstone. At least 4 other institutions have had the same situation occur. In the last 2 weeks, I personally have seen it 5 other times. We want to help. We, come to us. Jean is usually here on Wednesdays. I left also business cards with Karen. It has my number on them. You're welcome to reach out anytime if you have questions or want some reassurance or some guidance. Same thing with what McFadden said. Please reach out to someone. The other thing is if it triggers any type of high emotion from a random number you don't know, it's 95% going to be a scam. We've seen stuff with the Easy Pass. I don't know if you guys have got text about that or not. From Natural Bridge to here, there is no toll. So I don't think I owe them money. And there have been other ones like your grandchild is incarcerated. Yeah. I don't personally use PayPal because I've gotten scammed with it 3 times. Have you ever used PayPal ever? Once? Yeah, absolutely. And I know that PayPal went through a portion of time where they renewed their terms and conditions. So everyone who has ever used PayPal ever received an email saying that XYZ was happening. But if you want me to read your email, I can certainly do that while I'm here. Okay, you can email it to me, like a screenshot of it. Yeah, it doesn't strike me as urgency. And if you don't use it, then there's no real point to confirm or re-enroll or do anything of that nature. Does anybody have any questions for me? Yeah.
Is this latest, bank scam coming by email or phone?
The ones that I have experienced have all been phone related. Yeah, so they'll call, they will instruct that they are some person who knows everything about you. And they will say that whatever institution you are with has had a compromise in security. And that to help protect yourself, you need to pull everything out. And also don't tell the bankers that because they'll physically cause you harm. I'm not very scary, so I'm not going to harm you. And then they want you to invest it in crypto to save it. Any other questions? Perfect. Thank you guys so much.
So that's not. So is there anything that needs to come from the floor? Robin?
April 12th, Wednesday, April 19th, those are Saturdays. We are going to be picking up trash on the road. I will post it on the sign-up sheet within a week.
Okay. The queen of trash has spoken. All right, I think we are done for this month. If you are able to stay for the program that Residence Council is sponsoring on consensus decision-making, you can just stay where you are. If you're not, then thank you for coming to this and we'll see you next month.